Oh, here you go. You're rolling.
We ready to roll? Thank you, Dale. Ready to call the safety meeting together to order. Number 2, attendance, Alderman French, Alderman Messick, myself, Alderman Parsley, and Mayor Hobbs. Number 3, approval of the agenda.
Make a motion. Second.
All in favor? Okay, we have any citizens' comments?
We have no citizens.
See no citizens. All right, number 5, approval of the minutes from the 11th, 10th, 25.
Make a motion. Second.
All in favor? Aye. Okay, comments from the departments. Ms. Brittany, I think you're up first.
Just a departmental review. I gave you all the monthly numbers report. November was a little slow. We didn't have very many permits issued, only 2 new single-family permits. Stan is still very busy with inspections. He has 96 inspections. Compliance is about average. We did have a lot more dry weather screening outfalls assessed, so my stormwater program coordinator, she's kind of started on the outskirts of the dry weather screening of the outskirts of the city limits, and once you get inside the city a little further, a lot of those outfalls are really close together, so she was able to knock out quite a little bit more this month than previous months. She's still doing all the site inspections for active sites in the city. We had an annexation request that's going before BOMA in January. Typical plats submitted, nothing crazy there. And again, it was a slow month. Fees collected were minimal. I did give you guys an additional breakdown of permits and fees collected on the next page. Mayor had some of the numbers weren't making a lot of sense between building permits issued and total fees collected. So with it being just month by month, I figure I can, most of the time I can give you just a simple breakdown of all of the different fees that we do and permitting and things like that. So that would show the fireworks permit that the Martins get for New Year's fireworks, and some demo permits and things like that are on there. It's not necessarily in the regular monthly report. So from the Slum Clearance Act, we did get to demo our first condemned house today. You don't have any document on that, but we have moved forward with that process. So that was not really a good time, but it was a successful time. So that's good. We did that one today, and I do have 2 more that I'm getting quotes on that will be demoed in January at some point. So that's good. That was a helpful ordinance that was passed for my department. And then as far as employee safety goes, I provided you all with the November report. November accidents were down. Not by a whole lot, but they were down nonetheless. So that's good. And November really didn't have very many accidents at all. We only had a total of 5 accidents for the month. And then the last page is year over year. So it's comparing 2024 to 2025. We are still at a decrease. There's December left. But we are still at a decrease. We're at about 10% less than what we were last year right now, so hopefully we can keep that decreasing trend throughout the rest of the month. Last month we talked about food trucks. I gave you all a packet of the food truck ordinance and how we did that and things like that. Have you all reviewed or have any comments about that for this month?
What are you gonna do about it?
I didn't have plans to amend the ordinance at all.
Okay.
Like I said, last month, I just kind of provided you all with the ordinance we have in our process. So I wanted to know if you all had an issue with that process or anything like that.
I think some of the questions that came up were, some of them being actually stationary, even though they don't move.
Okay.
Is that, everybody's good with that, or do we need to look at any of that? I mean,
Do we lose any money by permits or anything by them doing that?
no, but it almost becomes a brick and mortar at that point, right? And they're paying monthly fees to stay in the same spot. So, I mean, it's just something to have the conversation about. And I think part of it is, how do we know, whose responsibility does it fall under to go out and see food trucks, to see if they have paid their permit and those things? And I think there was some confusion between Brittany and I as to whose department that falls under, right? And so it's just some of those questions that we want to try to figure out in the next few months as to how we handle that. We have different events and everything, and I assume through the event part of it, we collect it correctly. Jeremy's shaking his head no, so go ahead.
Because I've had that discussion, if they have an event at the park, they let the food trucks come in under that event's permit. They don't charge the food trucks the food truck permit.
Right.
Then as far as the ones that are stationary, to be considered food truck, it has to be able to be mobile. And the couple that we have that are set up at the same spot all the time, or sitting in the same spot all the time, they are mobile. It's not like they've got it set up permanent, but they're still mobile.
They're not moving.
They might not move them,
Right.
but they are movable, they are mobile if they wanted to be.
So, it becomes a question to the board, right? What do we want to do? Is that all under the purview? If so, then okay, great, we won't do anything. But if that was the intent, was for them to be mobile and moved, should we even address it? So, I think that was the intent of why we give that information out, and we'll probably put it back on next month, and if nobody has any comments, we'll let it go.
And I think one of the other questions that was brought up is, at every event, do they have to purchase, or if there's a couple of vehicles by the same one, do they have to have individual beer permits and so forth like that, or do they operate under one?
So we can let Adam speak to that. It seems that at some point, we did pass something to where, if you have multiple food trucks, you can take that one permit and use it for multiple ones, but just not at one time. But I don't remember how that fell out.
That's just for the beer permit.
Yeah.
As far as a food truck permit in itself, you have to have a food truck permit for each unit that you have.
For each unit, I got you.
And as far as special events go, there was verbiage in there that if your food truck is part of a special event that truly has a special event permit, as long as the food truck is mentioned in the special event permit, they're not necessarily required to get a food truck permit.
And I can tell you that's not happening, because each one doesn't list on the permit that everybody signs when it passes around City Hall for fire, police, and all of us to sign. It does not list any of them. So,
Does
And
the
then-
application have that on there, list for food trucks on the event application?
Yeah.
It does, and sometimes, like the mayor says, sometimes they'll put, this one, and this one, they'll put like 3 food trucks on there, and you go by the event, there's 5 of them there, and the other 3 already mentioned in the process.
A lot of times they'll just say yes. Like-
Well, but let's talk about, the reason that is because a lot of times they're still taking vendors until the last minute. And then, of course, the event permit process, you're trying to get that out in front. That might be something that we need to,
And then Recreation has their own food truck policy that they've adopted.
well, that's just for the location, right?
Right,
Yeah,
yeah.
that- yeah.
They don't have to have a separate permit or anything, but they do have their own little policy that they go for with the parks grounds.
on the beer part of it, and Adam, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but the reason that we ended up allowing them to move it from truck to truck. And they can't, so if they have 3 trucks, they can't all 3 actively be using the beer permit. But they can move the beer permit between the trucks because it's one business. But if you're using it simultaneously, then all of a sudden that's like having 2 different locations. So it's like having 2 package stores. You would have to have 2 permits. And that was more because we had people that were doing events and they would have a truck there for that event, depending on how many people they needed for food. And then they may need a smaller truck at other points, so it just made sense for them to be able to juggle that. But I think they're only still allowed to use that one truck at a time. It can only be present on one truck.
Correct, I believe you're
Yeah.
right, because, yeah.
Now, the mobility thing, I do think that's interesting from the standpoint of, I'd like for us to break down the advantages that gives them over a brick and mortar that's not in the natural advantage of a brick and mortar. I mean, there's some disadvantages to a food truck that a brick and mortar has, but like, I don't know, I don't want to go into, because there's other ways to go about this, like there's other communities that are creating food truck parks where they go into the food truck park and that's where the food trucks go. I think what we've got here is a situation where you've got maybe, I don't know if there's landlords that are renting space to them for that, or if it's just, because that I don't know that that's in the initial intent of the ordinance at all. I'm not opposed to letting them set up in the same spot.
No, I just think, and I think the intent right here, right, is let's just clarify it. It's not to say one's bad or
Yeah,
or
just
bad.
need to be clarified.
Let's just update it and add in these different things so that we're just in compliance with ourselves and we're not guessing what's gray is what I think Brittany and I, when we were talking about it, was we're just, as these things arise, right? I mean, the policy's probably a few years old. It's probably just a chance to update it and it's not a win or loss for
Yeah.
anybody. It's just, let's just put it in there, right?
But the argument is, if you got a permanent location, then this kind of averts codes in every sense of imagination as far as like building.
Yeah.
I can literally just say, well, so if I get a piece of property that there's no way I could build what I want to there, I can just put a food truck there.
Yeah.
And then,
So I
they're
think,
smarter than me.
I think we got a few action
I doubt what
items
you want to put in.
and Brittany and I will work through and we'll try to bring some information back, right, on pros and cons as requested and just let you guys.
I got one more question.
Okay.
It's not related to, but Stan had 96 inspections this last month.
Mhm.
He's always got a bunch of inspections. Does Stan need some help? Is he keeping up?
At some point, I would like a second inspector or a part-time or a hybrid employee of some sort that can pick up the slack. Not that Stan falls behind or anything, but I mean, like this week, he's at a conference, and the only other person who's certified is me. And I wasn't in the office today because I had a sick kid. So it is a little bit, it's a little bit difficult, and him and I both have never been the type to like to hold somebody up. Because, I mean, if you can't do a footer inspection, you're holding a project up for a whole day. That's weather contingent, that's time contingent and everything. So at some point, in a 5-year plan or something, I do have plans to
So it wouldn't be
incorporate
something that we want to think about and make a budget amendment in January to hire part-time help or something like that?
I'm not sure that I'm ready for us to make that
Okay,
kind
that's
of
good.
decision
That's
here
good.
right now. But I like your support.
The only thing about doing part-time with those kind of positions is if you don't have somebody that's already educated, sometimes part-time help might be more
Yeah.
work than
Well, you
Well,
could-
that's why I also said like a hybrid type
Yeah.
employee.
could do multiple.
Yeah,
I just know when you're building a house, you don't wanna have to wait on the inspector to come 2 weeks, you know, or a week or whatever.
I can
mean,
assure you, nobody waits 2
Yeah.
weeks in
I
Manchester.
can almost assure you nobody in Manchester waits more than 24 hours.
I couldn't imagine.
I
I
mean,
couldn't.
Stan
You
is,
know, you're talking about an additional employee,
Yeah, I
you
mean,
know.
I think that it's something we have to look at for next year's budget. You know, we're trying to hire an engineer. Could that engineer be a hybrid as an
There you go.
inspector? That, you know, we are looking at those things. Brittany and I do talk about them because when they're both unavailable or it may hold you up 24 hours or something, but her department is really very good and Stan is a very good inspector, and I know he doesn't make anybody wait, because he actually was getting out in front of some of the things for this coming week, last week, so. But
He's amazing. And I would also like, you know, if I do end up getting somebody who's not experienced, I would like them to work with him very closely too. So,
From experience, I've learned a ton from
Stan.
Stan.
Yeah. Yeah. Very knowledgeable man.
yes. I'm lucky to have him. I will put my thought into that.
Keep
for
that
next
in
time.
mind.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you have any more questions? Ryan?
No, I'm still on the food truck thing, but kind of tired of thinking about that. Because it's just one of those things that if you're, no matter what your intentions are,
Yeah.
I don't know, I don't say it's a loophole, but I mean, there's nothing wrong with being in the same spot every day. But if that's the way, if that's an option, then we almost need some kind of zoning for it or
So,
approval, permanency approval or something.
we have been really lucky to have some of the utilities work with us. The lady with Duck River, Natasha, she called me one day and she said, "Hey, are they allowed to like place their own power pole?" And I said, no, they have to run on their own power.
Yeah.
So we have food trucks that are calling and trying to place power poles on other people's property so
Yeah.
that they can be stationary. And so
Yeah.
I'm grateful that those utilities reach out to me and I have to explain to them, no, they're supposed to solely run on their own power. So we've been lucky, and there's probably a lot less stationary ones than what.
But I can see in the future that there is gonna be a problem somewhere.
Well, you'd hope the property owner would have some concern about the
Yeah.
liability of that and everything else, but, you know, I don't know. That's interesting. Unintended consequences. I do think we need to get a food truck park, though. I think that would be a great addition.
I've had
Okay,
one-
but I have nothing else. You-
Yeah. I've had one developer reach out to me about that for a lot here in town. But, okay.
It's a popular thing.
Do you have anything else?
No, sir?
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
See, on the injuries this year, the police department's way down, fire department's way up. Lost that one too, just like you did the chili cook-off.
They cheated the chili cook-off. That's just the fact of the matter.
Well, when you got somebody that cooks with Heath Briles, you're not
It was
wrong.
rigged, wasn't
I mean, that's not fair.
You're
You
losing
literally have a
your jump
professional cook.
Lost your jump shot.
it? Man, y'all get fancy.
Fair enough.
I'm telling you, that is funny, Sharon.
Good stuff right there.
Yes, sir, they did a wonderful job on that. Mr. Woods and Mr. Chambers did a great job.
Use AI.
No, that's not it, it's a picture in front of the station.
Poco.
Well, we spelled fire chief wrong and handicap also,
Yeah, we did, didn't we?
so I'm just.
What is it? Yeah, what is
That's, that's close
I did
enough.
use AI to fix the pictures.
Why not? I was trying to look at it that close.
I'm sensitive to this stuff.
So anyway, this is our department review for the month of November. That's what the front of Station 1 looks like, minus those 2 blue signs. That's what front of Station 2 looks like. for the new little flag drop-off thing that VFW did for us. Calls for service during the month of November. Fire-wise, we had 3 structural fire responses. All of them were mutual aid. One was with Hillsborough, one was with New Union, one was with Summitville. Had a dumpster fire at the rec center. Had 12 MVAs inside the city. Had 5 in the county with 2 extrications in those. 10 automatic alarm activation, 16 public service calls, 7 EMS assist, 1 hazmat response, which was for a fuel leak at one of the gas stations on Interstate Drive, I believe. We installed 18 smoke alarms at 5 homes. We installed 5 car seats, and Jeremy conducted 12 fire and life safety code inspections during the month of November, plus all the rest of the stuff he does.
On the 10 automatic alarm activation,
Yes, sir.
is that like at the industrial park?
That's Ravago, that's the rec center, that's, one of the, La
So it's an
Quinta.
industrial type alarm is what?
Either,
No, it could be, but it's usually the couple of hotels there on Expressway Drive. Like, what's the, first one there on the left? No,
On the left?
yes, sir, down Expressway Drive,
Holiday Inn?
right across the street from, Wendy's, that area.
Microtel.
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 Microtel a couple times, Sleep-In Suites a couple times, La Quinta a couple times. I think there might have been one I think there was a couple at Viam, 2 at Viam. So it's a mixture of all of them.
Okay.
Highlights for the month, we promoted Tyler Bradshaw to lieutenant on A shift. We had 3 of our officers attend Fire Officer 2 training, which was conducted here in town at the EMA office. Mr. Webb, Mr. White, and Mr. Field. We updated some of our pre-planned coverage. Lieutenant Silo went out and collected information from industrial parks, some hotels, and some other places that will updated our, point of contact. The point of contact is John Smith. Well, John left, and Sally Smith's there now. Sally's got a different number, so updated our point of contacts for our pre-plans. We assisted with traffic control at the Veterans Day Parade, the Manchester Christmas Parade. Guys conducted a physical agility test and interviews for hiring new firefighters. Hope we'll get those positions filled this month. 20th of November, the guys went over to College Street Elementary School and ate lunch with the children there that didn't necessarily have somebody to eat lunch with them. They really enjoyed that. And they also went over to a first responder luncheon at First United Methodist Church. They attended the first responder event at the fairgrounds. We had the losing effort, the chili cook-off at Tractor Supply. We tested our MSA G1 air packs and fit tested all personnel. Everybody passed. We escorted the annual toy convoy through the city. 5 guys attended the MERT class, which is a radiological monitoring class they need for the hazmat tech course. Mr. Frame, Mr. Nove, Mr. Carter, Cantrell, and Husky, and they're all currently in that class and should be finished with it this week. We conducted fire extinguisher training at JR Manufacturing, and we did some CPR training for the Dot Food Clinic. Future goals for the month are 2 firefighter positions, a captain position, and 3 lieutenant positions to fill this month. Also, during the month of November, we had our vehicles pump tested. And during pump testing, engine 611, which is our 2005 Ferrari engine, had a catastrophic pump failure, which rendered the pump basically exploded is what happened for some unknown reason. So now we're looking at the feasibility of replacing engine 611.
Did you guys bring those packets?
I got an information packet here on, I didn't bring the whole packet, we just brought the one that we discussed that day
Yeah.
on the new one.
So,
I got that packet right here.
okay.
Can I pass it out?
Yeah, so, okay. So we have been kicking around the fire engine for my 3 years as servant in the city. And this one here, and guys, if I get the numbers wrong, just help me, right? To fix this engine, which has 5 years left of end of life,
Sir.
is $100,000.
Yes, sir.
Huh?
Yes, sir, in that
Okay.
ballpark.
To buy a used engine to get 8 years of life, it was 300 or.
Yeah, 280 to
So right
300.
at $300,000.
Yes, sir.
So what we want to propose tonight is that we go ahead and buy a 2025 brand new, or I think it's brand new.
Yes, sir. It is brand
It's
new.
on the lot, ready
Yep.
to go. And its capability is 500 gallons more per minute
Yes, sir.
than what we currently are fixing to have to replace. And it's $850,000.
Yeah, $850,000, yes, sir.
$850,000. So to put $100,000 in something for 5 years and not understand what else happened or damaged on the truck because of the catastrophic failure, there could be some powertrain issues, there could be transmission issues. We don't know until we get in there. $100,000 is on the small end, and that's just the pump fixing of the engine. We just replaced or bought a used engine less than 6 months ago.
Yes, sir.
For a frontline engine as well. So that upgraded from a 1990 model vehicle to a 2010.
Yes, sir.
So,
So we got
you know,
15 years out of it.
the last time that you guys bought one was 2017, and we had said that we were on a 5-year plan, and we've kicked this down the road as far as I think we should. Now, we'll take it to budget and finance, which a couple of you guys sit on that one as well. If you remember, when we passed our budget this year, we passed a flat budget, and then we also included $1 million in there from the sale of the Little Leaf property. We put it in there as a side note. We said our budget is flat. If the sale goes through, we have a surplus of $1 million toward the general fund. The sale went through, and so now it's time to go ahead and probably, we're asking to go ahead and let's do it. We have the money. It's not going to affect our overall general fund. And so that's the ask.
Yes,
I
sir.
met with both of the captain, I mean, I guess it was all the captains.
All the captains, assistant chief, and the maintenance captain, we all met, and
And that's what we want to propose to you guys. If you don't like it or you can't swallow that proposal, we still have to buy something. And to buy something used for 8 years versus going ahead and giving us the 20 years probably doesn't make a whole lot of sense financially. But I want you to rest assured that it's not going to affect your overall fund balance because we have the extra money sitting there. So that's the part that this is created. We will Gov Deals, the old one, if we get a new one, but that should put the fire department in as good a shape as they've been in a long time with engines and everything, and we shouldn't be back having any type of conversation for 5 years.
yes, sir. And like the mayor said a minute ago, this engine that we're proposing to buy is has a 2,000 gallon minute fire pump in it. And with that pump, this would be a frontline engine, and engine one, which we currently have as a frontline engine, and that would bring 3,500 gallons a minute to every residential fire we respond to, which is the requirement for ISO. They want, the maximum they want you to bring to the scene is 3,500 gallons a minute, and that would get us there. And if we had an ISO rating, that 3,500 gallons a minute gives us a point. And a point is, it doesn't seem like much, but when you're going from 70 to 80 or 80 to 90, that 1 point means a lot. And this would give us the ability, because right now to meet that 3,500 gallons a minute, I gotta bring 3 pieces of apparatus. I gotta bring the 2 I got in aisle, plus that 43-foot quint. That doesn't fit down a whole lot of small roads in our city. This way, we eliminate the need for that quint to go on that reported fire, and we just do bring these 2 pieces of apparatus, and we're money ahead, like the mayor said. It gives us a 25-year truck instead of a 7-year truck or an 8-year truck. It's already here, it's already built. There's some allowances in the thing for us to put drawers and those kind of things and label it, and it's just, it's a great deal.
And the other side of it too is if everybody remember back when we were trying to build one, we were in the $1 million range.
Yeah, we're $1.2 million in that range.
So buying something that's already together and they feel good about and have checked out is another savings to the city as well versus us ordering one and waiting 18 months
yes, sir.
or so for it to
So
get here.
this takes the place of that.
Yes,
And what we do is we'll move the one we just purchased 6 months ago, that'll become our reserve engine, all right? That's what we hold in reserve, we got that's a great engine, it runs good, works good, and we'll have we'll have a 2019 model and a 2025 model, running up down the streets doing their job. And that'll just, and like the mayor said, that'll be the first time we've had something like that. Roger's worked here for 30 years, Jeremy's worked here for 20 years, and we've never had that before in the history of the city.
I'll make a motion, send it to finance for a vote, positive recommendation on safety.
I'll second. Well, it only makes sense. I mean, you're talking about $400,000
Yes, sir.
worth of
Yes, sir.
chances
Yes, sir.
versus 840,000.
Yes, sir.
Correct?
yes.
You know, the money is there to purchase. We're going to either have to do it now or in a year.
We can take a chance and do it on off year where we don't have the money, right? And it just, and it's like Chief said, right? I mean, as we have continued as a board, adding infrastructure and upgrading the things to the city, this gives our fire department the best equipment they've had in a very long time.
Correct.
In a very short period of time, and we've been very fortunate to be able to get that done.
So the only question I have, I'm for this, okay?
Yep.
But the only question I have is if we could do this for $850,000, why in the Sam Hill were we trying to buy a $1.2 million fire truck?
Well, we weren't. That's why we sent it back to committee,
We
because we
didn't
think we
ask.
over-engineered a lot of it and some of those things, and we weren't at the time looking, you know, the process has been such that it takes us a while to make a decision, so the price has just been creeping up. If we wait and we order one, we're gonna be looking at buying a 26 or 27 model, and that's the extra money.
Yes, sir.
We just kinda lucked into this when this broke, that they were able to go out and find something already built on the yard that somebody didn't take, so to speak. And that's what we're trying to hang on to save us a little money. So I hope that answers what you're asking me. but-
Yeah.
Chief, does this have a warranty? And
Yes, sir, it does have a warranty. I mean, it's got a 5-year on the motor, 5 years of transmission frame, 1 year electrical, pump's got 5 years, and the tank is a lifetime warranty, not just like any other warranty we buy on any
Okay,
other new truck. Yes, sir.
but give
It's
me
fully
the years
warranted.
again versus buying a used one versus the price-wise.
Well, a used one's gonna give you possibly 1 year's worth of warranty.
Okay, but I'm talking about as far as service, until we'd have to be meeting this. We'd have to be meeting it in a year anyway.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So-
Yes, sir.
so-
Yes, sir.
And what, I think what you're asking, Donnie, is if we go out and we purchase another used one, we get 8 years of service out of it for half the money.
Right.
And that's why we're looking to go ahead and just,
But still, anyway, we consider it right here, it's 850,000 versus approximately 400,000.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. This gives you a brand-new frontline engine, full warranty. And if we have any mechanical problems with it, we got a warranty here and a warranty there and a warranty, because there's always some little nitty thing that goes wrong with anything you buy. You know that from personal experience, just
We
buying a
need to send them a deposit? or they
No,
already-
sir. What we need to do is in the morning, Mayor, you're working tomorrow?
yes.
In the morning, we'd draft up a purchase order, and then we just send that purchase order to Safe Industries, and they'll hold the truck for us, and then once it all goes through finance, and we get to January, and then we can go get the truck.
And what the letter will basically say is, hey, it's contingent upon the January 6th passing from BOMA, but we have a positive recommendation from this committee
Right.
to go to the next one, and they'll hang on to it for us.
Well, my question was, does the apparatus have everything you need?
Yes, sir,
And
it
you said
does.
there's some
Yes, sir,
allowances
it
for
does,
some
it
things.
does. There's allowances for shelving, like, if you look on that one page there, it's, it gives you $7,500 for graphics, which I can do graphics for a lot less than $7,500, and it gives me $4,700 for loose equipment, tool mounts, and whatever else we want, how we want to mount something in there, so we can combine the two in that little budget range there and get everything mounted like we want to.
And a lot of that's pull-out trays, right, for the employees not to hurt themselves, right, not reaching in a box. These, and none of them come with these trays
No,
unless
they
you
don't.
special order them. And it's just like the one we bought, we spent a little bit of money to make it to where they can pull it out, the stuff is on the shelf versus reaching in and hurting themselves trying to get it out of the vehicle. So that's what the allowances are for, that we're asking for. But you could get that, if you ordered it, which is what we were talking about, the $1.2 million, all that would already be built into the vehicle. So that's the allowances we're looking at.
So where's the money coming from one more time?
What's
money,
that?
where's the money
It'll come
coming
out of general fund, but it's the extra money that where we had sold some land to Little League.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, see what I mean? We balanced our budget this year.
Yeah.
We were flat, and we had that extra $1 million set in there if the sale went through, and it did. So we have an extra $1 million in the general fund, even though we were flat. So we're not dipping into it for this purchase.
All righty, Ryan, you made the motion, I second. I'll vote. All in favor, say aye.
Ah,
All right, that's all I had. Jeremy, think you're up next?
Jeremy.
Jeremy.
Jeremy?
Yeah, which one's first, sprinklers? Okay, this came up from actually talking to sprinkler companies and alarm companies. I've been questioned a couple of times lately as to why we do not have a sprinkler and alarm permit fee. And my answer to that was, we just never have talked about it. So, that's what this is bringing up, and again, Ryan, me and AI wrote this ordinance.
Well, I hope it's spelled better than this.
I do,
Overspelled sprinkler, right?
I do.
Well, okay, I don't know why it's
No, it's
just started
imagery.
changing them.
Yeah.
I know, it's crazy. But anyway, again, my Coffee County education doesn't let me write very well, so I tell it what I want it to say, and then it makes me sound good. But what I'm proposing is a base fee for a sprinkler system of $150 for up to 12,000 square feet, and anything over 12,000 square feet is $50 per 5,000 square feet. And also, while I've got that, I guess I got them right here. I've also looked up a couple of surrounding areas, Spring Hill, Rutherford County, Laverne, and then one in Jackson. Laverne is $150 for a sprinkler system, $150 for alarm system. Spring Hill, they do theirs by the number of heads. And then, let's see, Rutherford County is a base fee of $300, and that only covers up to 5,000 square feet, and then 2 cents a square foot after that. Then Jackson is $6 per thousand. Then anything over $1 million is $3,200 for the first million, and then $2 per thousand after that. So that's I kind of try to keep it in a ballpark and then keep it more simple. Moving over to the fire alarm, $125 base, and then $85 per floor. If it's like the 4-story, it'd be $85 per floor over the first floor. And then additional $50 for other low voltage, such as entry systems, camera systems, security systems, burglar alarms, that kind of thing. And then in section 3, our Knox box program that we're already doing, it's just not in an ordinance.
All right, back up here. What's a
Okay,
Knox
back up.
box?
Knox box, it is a secure box that we require new businesses, and if they remodel their businesses, and I try to get all businesses even to purchase one, it's a secure steel box that goes on the outside of their building that has entry keys in it. And the fire department are the only ones that have a key to that box. And if I'd have knew you didn't know what a Knox box was, I'd have brought one and showed you.
It's okay, I understand.
But it is a very heavy steel box that's bolted to the wall. You can get them that are mounted in the wall. You can even get them that now they're making them electronic, with electronic keys. So, but again, we already require Knox boxes on new buildings and remodels. but we keep the Knox boxes at the codes department. The fire department's been paying for them, and then, if somebody needs a Knox box, they go to Grace and pay us whatever we, like if we ordered 4, and if they come out to $550 a piece on an average, then that's what we charge people for them. We don't upcharge them at all. And then, use of the funds, if we could put the Knox box money needs to go back into a fund to repurchase Knox boxes. I try to keep 3 or 4 on hand, that way and it actually saves the business money, because we order them cheaper than they can order them themselves from Knox box. But, the money from the permit fees, I'd like for it to go into a public education, fire prevention fund, and then materials for the fire prevention. Then, as all other fees, they'll be collected through the permit process at the codes department. And that's pretty much all the important stuff. And I made a copy of these for each one of y'all. Just kind of what other areas are charging.
Does Tullahoma have this fee?
Tullahoma does not have this yet. I talked to Nick about this at the conference I was at last week. And they do not have anything, a fee yet, but as I said, the sprinkler companies that do a lot of work here have questioned why we don't have a permit fee. It helps keep reputable companies doing work in our area.
Is it,
Yep.
Mayor, is it legal for us to let them collect the fees and keep them, or do we have to?
That's a question.
We can earmark it. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like we did with the impact fee and stuff. As long as we write it in the ordinance, it can go into to those designated boxes. So, yeah. Of course, if you guys move forward with the ordinance, we'll have AI Johnson write it for us.
Exactly. And I have ran both of the ordinances that I'm talking about by Attorney Johnson, and that was his comment, that they look fine to him. He'll write it into the Manchester's format as proper.
I'm indifferent to it. What does the Knox box got to do? I mean, with the sprinklers, is it just for the accessibility? I mean, what do you use the Knox box for? That's if there's a call, right?
If there's a call, we don't have to break their storefront to get into their building.
So, but is that in relation? I just wondered if those need to be two different ordinances. I don't know what they got enough to do with each other.
To me, that would be a
Be one.
Attorney Johnson question.
I think there's already one, was it a resolution they did for the Knox box before, or was it an ordinance they did?
I think it would be a resolution since
They
there's
did
not
a resolution before, many years ago, for the Knox box beach, for all new construction and remodels. The purchase part of it is, I order 4, I spend $5,000 ordering 4, and then we sell them for whatever, and then that money goes back into the
Yeah.
general fund, but there's no replenishment of that fund. We just gotta keep, we might buy 15 a year, and I pay for them, and then the money goes back in the general fund. There's no replenishment there to keep that train kind of rolling.
But as far as for the training that you had in there, Jim, I mean, y'all are already getting the training now. The city of Manchester pays for that now.
For what? I know.
Training that's listed in there.
I didn't see that.
There's no training listed in it.
Where the money?
Oh, that's for for the fire prevention program for the public. That's not for us. That's for where we buy material to give out to the public.
I mean, do we do that now? Is what I'm asking. We do that.
Well, we were using
We
the,
do, yes, sir, we do that now, we got a line item for that, this would increase
It's
that
already
line item,
in
to
y'all's.
help us do it even more.
It's already in yours. I mean, that's not in there now?
We have a budget item for that, yes, sir, right now,
Okay, so,
we have a line item for that.
I'll make a motion that we send it to Attorney Johnson. He can determine how the ordinance, if it needs to be one or two, or how it works.
And pass it on to the board, right?
Yeah.
Let the board decide.
Well, hell, I don't want not, sorry. The only question I have at all is about you guys collecting the funds and
I know, we've been trying to get away from that all these years. Is having a separate department where funds is going into.
And I mean, and we can make it simple next year in the budget, right? If we pass the ordinance, we'll just increase that line item. Money will still go in the general fund, and we just increase the one line item where they do their,
give it back to them.
in a roundabout way.
Yeah.
Instead of designating it like you're asking, we
I
can just
mean,
increase that.
I'm not against this. All I'm saying is, we have worked so hard to get the money back to the general fund. And now if we do this right here, that's opening the door back up.
So why don't we talk about it at the finance meeting?
Okay.
See how Anthony wants to handle it. However Anthony wants to handle it, I'm 100% fine with it,
That's
you know?
I mean, and there again, the easiest way is just let it go to the general fund, increase the line item on the fire department, literature or whatever, I can't remember what it's called, but we can increase that line item and it's the same purpose. That way you don't
Does
get
the same
stuff
thing.
trying to watch a
Well,
different
and I'm not
fund
trying to be
and get in and out
difficult
of it.
about that.
Yeah.
No,
I'm
and-
not against it.
Yeah.
But we have worked hard to get everything back under one umbrella, and now we're opening the door if we do
In
this.
between tracking that from finance
Yeah.
department standpoint too.
that's perfectly fine. I know,
Yeah.
I'm learning now.
Yeah,
You know, I didn't,
Your intent's there and it's correct. It's
It's
just
good
us
intent.
doing a little bit of mathematics.
exactly.
But yeah, we get the intent.
Like I say, the biggest thing is I just want to get the permit fees so we can, you know, not only make money, but again, keep more reputable companies doing work in our area.
I make a motion, we send it to finance for consideration.
I'll second that.
All in favor? Aye.
Okay,
Thank you, Jeremy.
you're welcome. I got one more.
Oh,
I got
Pushing
two.
your luck, man.
Put that in your
I know, I'm pushing my luck today. Now, this one actually is a safety concern because one of those alarms that we had, we found out, I guess you call it business in town, has a hyperbaric chamber in their facility. Does everybody know what a hyperbaric chamber is? It's one of those high-pressure oxygen chambers. And so we have nothing, and in my research, I found out that really there's nobody that governs those at the state level or anything. So talking with Deputy Chief Chambers, Roger, we decided we might want to come up with an ordinance for that as well to help protect our citizens. In some research that I've done, In the past year, there's been 2 deaths, one in Michigan and one in one of the western states. I can't remember exactly what state it was, but they were both from fire that occurred inside the hyperbaric chamber. But the purpose and intent, to ensure all hyperbaric chambers within the city of Manchester comply with the adopted building and fire codes. The section 2 there, pretty self-explanatory on the definitions. There is a permit fee within this under section 3, along with the building permit that would be required. There are very substantial construction restraints on hyperbaric chamber, and the facility that has the one here in Manchester does not meet any of these requirements.
So how'd that facility get,
He just came in and set it up. Let me tell you a little backstory on that. He is a medical doctor. He does have a medical
Hold
degree.
on. Let me interrupt. How many of these are in Manchester?
One.
Okay, we don't need to have a conversation about business if we're gonna look at developing an ordinance, because we can't develop an ordinance to police somebody. We can't target someone with developing an ordinance to go after something that's established like that. We gotta be real careful with that. So I don't, because if there's no guidelines currently on the books for that, they haven't done anything wrong. So let's be clear about that. If we don't have any
Right.
ordinances on the books.
that's why I asked the question.
Yeah, I understand.
asked.
I understand. I don't think we need to advance the conversation into opinions, because right now I don't know, use your better judgment on it. I just don't, you can't legislate.
You can't make this man go back and upgrade.
Yeah, you can't
I
target
see
somebody
that.
through that. And I don't know who we're talking about. I don't
don't
care,
care.
but I want to be very careful with that.
So let me ask, should the conversation be around the fact that the city should know that there's one
I agree, yeah.
establishment?
Yeah, that's.
And can we change the conversation to say that we want to permit them, right? And that if you're here already, you're grandfathered in, but I think that these guys that go into these buildings should know they are there.
100%.
Is what I hope the intent is here, right? Is that we're just looking to permit the one that we have so we can say it's here. And then if any more want to come, we know that they're there.
And we're not
Is
gonna
that-
charge to permit the one that's here.
No, we grandfather them in, but I mean, it's good for us to know when they come, especially first responders and things that have to go into these buildings. Yes, sir.
Franklin County's had an upsurge in people buying in their own homes. So that's why we started down this route.
Sure.
Because they've got multiple there.
Yeah.
Tullahoma has several.
Sure.
They can buy them on Amazon or somewhere, and people are starting to purchase that, and that is our concern.
Sure.
It isn't really this one individual per
Yeah.
se,
Yeah.
but we're trying to write it generally to include everyone.
Yeah, I mean, asking for a permit is fine, especially when we're having to enter into things that we need to know what's in them. It'd be no different than a building code type of a thing, right? And we're not looking to target anybody backwards or anything like that. It's good that we found the one, so now we know. And moving forward, if it's something we, feel we need to permit so that we're aware and it's on you guys' safety plans, that should be the intent of the ordinance.
Yeah, no, totally. I don't want us to get in a situation where we pass an ordinance and somebody says, well, you're coming after me.
Yeah,
And
no,
then we've got some,
I think they were just using it as an example.
yeah, no, I understand. I just don't, I'm with you at the same time.
Let me ask the question right here. How many people do we have, that were trained if they knew that it was there and they was going into that situation, in a forest situation or whatever?
0.
So that would be a definite safety issue.
And, you know, which brings up, since that we didn't know about them,
Right.
you know, we need to probably be looking at training and some things for our
Correct.
guys so that we know they exist, and this will help us know how many and where they are, and it's really a good thing for us to have all that knowledge, right?
How you gonna find them? I mean, we know there's one, okay?
Just do
You
inspections.
said they were, what's that?
Just do inspections.
No, I mean, you said there were a lot of them coming into Tullahoma
Yes.
in individual
Right.
houses.
Yes,
So how you gonna find them?
Now, that one, you can't find it in the house,
Right.
that's why you get a permit, and they're gonna have to come tell us, then we're gonna tell them if you're gonna put it in your house, you have to meet whatever the International Fire Code says, you have to meet these certain requirements to put it in there.
Yeah.
And that protects them, and it also protects us.
And, I mean, it's just like anything else that goes on in the city. Not everybody's gonna be honest with you and come do it,
That's right.
okay,
I
but
don't
if,
even know to do it though. I mean, how many people would know that that's something they should
well, when they
do?
come to the codes,
Like certified people install these, or you just order it on Amazon and put it in your house? And
See, this is where I'm getting at. You're going there. Is, should there be something with codes, maybe just a question on a questionnaire or something that says, are you gonna put a hyperbaric chamber in your house or something? I mean,
it's
you
not
know.
a bad question, right? I mean, but,
yeah.
you know, but at the end of the day,
You
right,
could.
as they come in, we just need to make sure we're aware of them and we are trained properly.
Sure.
So, but yeah, but I mean, we see it all the time, even when people come for a building permit, right? I mean, they're gonna tell you what you wanna hear, they're not,
Yeah.
and you gotta see the plans and things, and you gotta do the looking, but,
Got 1,200 square
but if,
foot
but if we're
home.
not asking for them to tell us, then we're definitely setting ourselves up to fail.
But, can we ask this? What would be the difference of me having one of these and then me having like a propane tank? That you don't know about?
You're in,
Or a garage with a truck full of
again,
dynamite?
over the last year, the couple that have had deaths, they've both been by fire.
Yeah.
Both of them were started with static electricity inside the hyperbaric chamber. And as far as the pressurization itself, it's not any different than a propane tank or whatever.
Yeah.
Any kind of pressurized vessel that you have in your house. But it's just the safety aspect and the following the code to install them properly.
you would almost have to gear it more toward ones with commercial use.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, is like, yeah,
Residential.
it's the only way to really, because, yeah. I mean, and I don't know that you could do any kind of educational campaign.
I don't know.
I don't know if enough people know what a hyperbaric chamber is for that, you know, to knock out all the residential ones.
But this is geared more for the commercial use and the medical
Yeah.
use.
So I'm all for doing something if you wanna do something. And I'm not for putting a $250 fee on it, really not on this one. We only got one right now, and he's already here.
But like, yeah, I don't, and then the medical device thing makes me have another question too, like, do we require a permit on MRI machines?
I don't know.
I mean,
Do
there's
they blow up?
certainly an
Not a
inherent,
not a specific,
I don't know, I just,
part of their, that wouldn't be part of the.
It's good
It's
thinking.
just the structure.
It's good thinking. It's good something to think about.
I do, I mean, I think anything pressurized, we should know about, especially at a commercial rate.
So you wanna carry this farther?
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to see, and again, I don't know enough about it to like even, I don't know. I probably need to research it more. Cause I'm with Brittany, like, is there a difference? Usually there's quality difference between the commercial, there's also process difference versus commercial versus residential.
Residential.
And I don't, I don't know that doing a residential one's gonna even help, cause I don't know how you would tell people. If you could order one on Amazon, I don't know
I don't have a clue.
Yeah. Because, I mean, we could charge a fee for having coffee makers because they're hot. How are we gonna tell everybody you gotta have a coffee maker fee? I don't,
For everybody that's got an outside garage with an acetylene towards the,
yeah, it's just, how do you police it?
right.
Yeah,
On the residential side, there's no way to.
with commercial, I think, yeah, I agree. So,
So you wanna move it out of this committee to the board?
no, I think we need to rework the ordinance and then move it.
You wanna postpone it till next month?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's,
All right.
I'll make that motion, or you make that
well,
motion.
I'll make a motion that you guys bring it. I ain't gonna make a motion, we'll just let it sit here, but let's bring this back next month with
Okay.
language curtailed to commercial use.
All right, Ryan's made the motion, Mark, you second
I
that
did,
motion?
yeah.
For us to bring it back next month.
I'll rework and bring it back.
All in
next month.
favor, say aye. So 3-0.
That's some good thinking right there, folks. That's thinking ahead, y'all. That's good.
Well, I'll probably have another one with that coming forward too, so.
Well, you know, what's interesting is bringing up like this right here. Like in the case if you had a hospital fire,
Mhm.
with all that oxygen.
Yeah, if you
And-
didn't know about it, that would be,
You know, just to talk ahead a little bit, you know, they're already talking about putting the data center at the base. And then, another thing that was talked about last week when I was in the inspector conference is, energy storage. You know, battery storage facilities that are coming to areas like ours because they like small areas and they can come in and most of the time have them set up and running before a lot of people know about it. So I think we need to have some kind of ordinance on that as well.
yes, they can come in and litigate till infinity.
All right.
So I'll try to have a couple more by next month.
All right, thank you, Jeremy. Hello, Adam.
Good evening.
It doesn't matter.
Not sure about that yet.
Short, sweet.
Put it at the top of the flagpole.
So for the month of November, we responded to 1,973 calls. Funding, we're currently at about 45% of our budget. We did receive our SRO funding in full for the 25-26 budget, which was $225,000. Glad to get that. Fire chief was right, we did win the cook-off,
He
but
left, he didn't want to hear it.
well, the deputy chief's here, so I can twist it one more time, but they got the upper hand. They donated their winnings, plus a total of $500 to our Angel Tree program, so we're making sure that's put to good use. We also participated in the toy convoy, and we went the other day and picked up those toys that were generated from that, which help our Angel Tree program as well. Our court clerk, Dawn Adams, and Judge Trail participated in the first driver's license reinstatement fair. From what I understand, it was a success.
Let me stop you there and brag on that. That's a big deal. That is a huge deal. There's so many people in our communities that when they get in trouble or their license get taken away, they just linger out there forever. And it's become a workforce barrier.
Yeah.
And so that's a really big thing. that was
And
done.
problems tend to snowball after that. You're correct.
And everybody's willing to take them away like that, but there's
Yeah.
usually nobody on the other side help you walk through
We
that
were,
part of it.
we were glad Manchester was asked to participate, and they did a great job. The Christmas parade, we felt like went great. Lessons were learned from us, and we took a lot from that. I think we made a lot of people happy keeping Highway 55 open this year, which hadn't been done for a long time. So there was some key things we did, but there were several things we learned from that we'll try to improve on for next year. The Veterans Day Parade, as I stated in the board meeting, we recognized our veterans, and there are more veterans right now working at Manchester PD than I can remember in my history. We did participate in the First Methodist Church lunch that was honoring first responders. We did a THSO, Tennessee Highway Safety Office saturation, November 1st. College Street, we ate lunch with those children that might not have had somebody there to eat lunch with them for Thanksgiving, and enjoyed that. And Officer Stottlemyre presented a show and tell at East Main Street Church of Christ. Their Tuesday, Thursday daycare was a big hit. We're kind of getting prepared for our, December's a really busy month for the police department. We're in the process of getting ready for the Angel Tree program, and that includes gift bags for roughly 90 to 100 children, some of them siblings. That we get that list from the school system. BJ Silva, the family resource coordinator for the city schools, does an amazing job and works with us. Those 90 to 100 angels, as I said, some of those are siblings, so it's about 50 families. And we also provide a food box, a very healthy food box to each of those families. That's scheduled for the 19th. Y'all are welcome to swing by here if you're out that day. We have all that here at the PD ready to go, and that's the last day of school before Christmas break. So when parents pick their children up from school that are part of this, they come straight to the PD, and we load it all in a car for them.
How you coming on money on that? Are you good?
We're good, yes, sir. A lot of that's donations and other means that we collect throughout the year. We collect the toys throughout the year as well. But yeah, we're on par with where we have been in years past. We buy the food from Spring Street Market. We'll start picking up some of the dry goods in boxes tomorrow. This past Saturday, we participated in a car hop type event at Sonic. Our officers helped wait on the cars. It's Sonic's way of helping our Angel Tree program as well. We did that for a couple hours, and that generated roughly $1,000 and several toys that were donated also. Some of this repetitive from the BOMA. We had 2 officers that resigned in November. Officer Green accepted employment with Rutherford County Sheriff's Department, and Officer Galt accepted employment with the Tennessee Highway Patrol. They both did a great job while they were with us, and we wish them the best in their future. We have replaced those 2 since then. With interviews, we stole one from the fire department. Lieutenant Samuel Pennington came on board to the good side, and a lot of excitement. We've had a lot of phone calls bragging on him and how he'll benefit and be an asset to us. And we've also hired back Landon Pence, who worked for us for several years. He came here from Warren County. So they're both already started. They're on the roads. And Mr. Pennington has been accepted to the police academy to begin in March, which is a little bit ahead of what we were anticipating. So that's good news for us to get him in the academy as quick as we can. 2 officers had anniversaries in November, Zan Wigley and Zach Smotherman. Of course, we all know Chief Sipe announced his retirement. We had a couple celebrations for him that went very, very good. We'll miss him. And we talked about former PSO Debbie Vaughn passed away in November, and we're very sorry for her family and miss her at the police department. Training, we've conducted 2 taser training for patrol 2 different times to get them all squared away and recertified. Major West and our investigative division did some training with the district attorney's office at Tullahoma PD. It's a software that allows us to share reports with them through a portal. Officer Myers and Investigator Norris attended the Tennessee Narcotics Officers Association, and Admin Captain Robertson and Major West attended the Law Enforcement Training Officers Association. Some projects that we're working on, we're still working on our mobile data terminals to be put in our cars with IT. Basically, we're now in a waiting game for our mounts, very specific mounts, and charging docks for these that you just don't want one floating around or rolling around in a car. So we're waiting to get those delivered and installed before we deploy those computers. We do have all of our stop sticks arrived, and we're in the process of installing them and working on a training program to get everybody trained up to deploy those. This can be a very hazardous and dangerous thing to do, so we need to make sure they're trained up good, but it could stop pursuits, and that's our goal if one's coming into our city. Our rifles have been delivered, and we'll deploy them as we train. And right now, we're scheduled to train at the Department of Corrections in Tullahoma on the 18th of this month. We get trained, we'll get all those deployed. Every patrol officer will have a patrol rifle. Submitted and passed in BOMA a job description for evidence technician. I don't know where we go with that now. That's a pretty pressing need for us.
Just see Tina and have it posted.
Okay. I don't know if there's any questions. This would handle the physical evidence, and the big drain on us right now is the digital evidence. The FOIA request for all of the digital body cameras and car cameras is a very, you have to redact every video before you can release it. It's extremely time consuming. We've listed several items and sold on GovDeals. We've sold several pieces of equipment for the water department, and we have some stuff that's currently out there for bid right now. The recent stuff we bid probably totals around $20,000. And again, there's some stuff on there now for George at the street department. One of the external complaints was Woodland Street neighborhood in Brittany. There's been a lot of work to satisfy that. Today was a big win, victory for all of us. The demolition of the 1207 Woodland House. Talk about the grants. And that's about it. Head Start for the Angel Tree stuff. Y'all are invited also December the 11th. We provide some gifts to all the children at the Head Start on Oakdale Street. They're close to the street department. We have those gifts and they're wrapped. So we're scheduled to deliver them the 11th at 9 a.m. Y'all are all welcome to go with us. And then again, the 19th is the Angel Tree pickup. That'll be happening here.
All right. Good job, Adam. Going through all that. I don't have anything. Do you have more?
Did Trey help in the chili cook-off?
No,
Okay.
we're
I just
Mitchell.
wanted to clarify.
All transparency, Mitchell has an award-winning chili that he has made for years. He won again, and they're wanting to host a barbecue challenge this summer, and that's where we will utilize Trey's expertise.
Yes, okay. Well, I just want to say, you guys are doing great work, all these safety departments are.
Sir?
Y'all got any trained up chefs?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
We got
okay.
secret sauce that
All
we
right.
shared with him.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I mean, I think that, I have to reread it right, but I believe that we'll make recommendations and place people on the committee in January.
I want to, with Veterans Day, it comes up every year in Tennessee, and I know for smaller departments, sometimes it can be a stress, but in Tennessee, you have the ability to give veterans that day off is a paid day. They have to request it, so if they don't want to be off, they're on rotation or something. I'd like for us to consider that in policy and procedures. I don't know how that would be handled, but I think it would be a good policy, because every year we have Veterans Day, I think about, man, they ought to be able to go to these events that are celebrating them, but sometimes, whether they're in IT or police or fire or whatever, in Tennessee, we have the ability to create that policy, so I would really like for us to create a
We
Veterans Day
vote on
policy.
that every year.
holiday we get off.
You get, for the whole staff, the whole thing. You get, but there's a provision for veterans only, or so you can use it as an additional day throughout the year, however way you want.
We'll take it up, we'll get back to you. How about that?
I'll take the policy and procedures and see whenever that starts, that's the only thing I want to bring
Should start in January.
All right. Does anybody have anything else?
You can write us a, resolution or something, and we'll talk about it.
Nice.
I am nice.
See where you're headed here.
All right. Adam, you have anything else?
No, sir.
Under new business, does anybody have anything? Well, Ryan just talked about it.
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
All right, all in favor?
Turn everything off.